Hello, students. So, yep, this is the 2023 paper 2. As promised, this is my suggested solutions for you. You should have already completed this paper. So, let's go through together. And of course, do your corrections and learn from any mistakes that you made so that you are well prepared for your end of year examination. Right. So, the first one over here is a good old quadratic, and we're going to factorize it, right? So how do we factorize this? Well, there are many methods. The cross method is one of the most popular ones, so I'm going to just demonstrate it. So we have w times w give us w square. Over here, I want to obtain a negative 18, and on the right side, I want to obtain the negative 3w. So we cross multiply, and then we are going to find a combination. Oops, is my Apple Pencil working? We find a combination that will give us 18. So 18 will be 1 times 18. 1 times 18 is either 17 or 19. No good. Then 2 times 9. 2 times 9 is either 7 or 11. No good. 3 times 6. 3 times 6 gives us 3 or 9. So we want 3. So 6 and 3 gives combo is good. Right? So we cross this. This is negative 3w. I mean 3w here. This is 6w. And because we want to get negative 3w, we know that the 6 will be negative and the 3 will be positive so that they match up. Right? So therefore, this one will give us x plus 3. Sorry, not x, w minus 6. There we go. Okay. Now, this one, right? So when you see this situation, is 4 terms here. Highly likely is going to be a factorization by grouping. However, when you look at this and you see, wait a minute, we start out with 8x squared minus y. And 8x squared and y has nothing in common. So there are a few ways to do this. Of course, one of the ways we actually suggest is to just rearrange, right? Because we can subtract y, then subtract 4x, or we subtract 4xy first, then we have plus 2x, then just rearrange the terms. It doesn't matter because no a plus b is equal to b plus a. We know that adding and subtracting, we can always rearrange them. So from here, now we can actually look at the common factor for the first group. So we can extract out 4x. That will give us x minus y, 2x minus y, sorry, 2x minus y, plus, how about this one? Well, this one, I have 1, right? 1 is a factor of everything, so 2x minus y. So when I observe this, I find that, hey, wait a minute, 2x minus y is common, so 2x minus y, then we have 4x plus 1. There we go, bingo, right? So yeah, write in the answer space here, 2x minus y, 4x plus 1. Okay. Moving on. Okay. Next one, this one, you can see is squares and squares. So we suspect, right, there should be a difference in square. But however, what we should first do is to extract out any common factor. So we have 2, and then we have m squared minus 25 n squared. So from here, this is 2, and we have m squared minus 25n squared is actually 5n bracket square, so that gives us 2 m plus 5n and m minus 5n. There we go, right? So that's the answer. So you just transfer to the answer space, right? Next, expressed as a single fraction in the simplest form. So as we know, when we try to add and subtract fractions, the first objective is to try to make the denominator common. So in this case, I have 3, 5 and 15 as my denominator. The common is 15. I can make everything common denominator of 15. So I can do this. So the first term over here, we have 5 multiplied by 3x plus 1 minus 4, not 4, 5, I need times 3. So 3 times 4, right? And then we have, we have 4 minus 6x, right? This one doesn't change because it's actually just multiplied by 1. So we have that. Now we expand out 15x plus 5 minus 12 plus 4 minus 6x over 15, right? So this will work out to be 9x minus 3, oops, let's write properly, minus 3 over 15. And when we look at it, we can observe that, wait, something seems to be common here. Well, what's actually happening is if we extract out 3, we find that this is actually 3x minus 1. And then 15 is actually 3 times 5, right? So from here, we can see that the 3 and 3, they do cancel each other. So we end up with 3x minus 1 over 5. Okay? Right, moving on. Next one. Misty asks her students express the following as a single fraction in its simplest form, right? So there's a student called James who worked out the answer in this way. He made a mistake, right? So what we are trying to do is we are trying to actually figure out where's the mistake. So if you observe, what happened is, in this case, let me just mark it out in red so that you can see on your screen. In this case, the issue is here, right? This negative here actually should belongs to the 2. So it should be in the numerator instead of being shared by the entire fraction. Okay, so that's where the error is. So the error occurs in line number 1, right? So what happened? The negative, the first negative should be in the numerator, right? Don't want the full stop. Instead of for the entire fraction. Okay, we can state something like this. That should be sufficient, right? Okay, so after that, describe how James can check whether his answer in line 3 is correct without working out the steps again. Well, we can substitute come on, my spelling. Substitute a value into both the original expression and the expression in line 3 and check if the results are the same. So if you work it right, it should be the same. Okay, right, moving on. Next question, we have geometry here. So in the diagram, AB is parallel to CD and EF. Then we have the angle 120 degrees and 80 degrees also labeled for you. So what we want to do is we want to calculate angle BEC. So I can mark it out in red so that you can see on the screen. BEC is this tiny little angle over here. Okay, so change back to blue pen. So what we can do over here is to first find angle BEF, right? Angle BEF is actually, right, equals to 120 degrees because of alternate angles. And AB is parallel to EF, right? So we have BEF. Then what's next? We can find angle CEF, right? CEF, which is equals to 180 degrees minus 80 degrees. And the reason, interior angles due to CD parallel to EF, right? So this will be equals to 100 degrees, right? So therefore, angle BEC is going to be 120 degrees minus 100 degrees, which gives us 20 degrees. Okay, right, part B. Part B, we get a typical diagram like this again. We're making use of parallel lines, right? So show that x plus y plus z is equals to 360. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my pencil and I'm going to mark it out here, right? So from here, what we can see is angle y, right? Angle y, okay, is angle y degrees is actually going to be 180 minus x plus 180 minus z. And the reason is because of interior angle, right? Interior angles. Okay. AB parallel to ED, right? So from here, we simplify. This will be y equals to 360 minus x minus z. So x plus y plus Z equals to 360. Shown. There we go. Right? Okay, so moving on to the next part. Jennifer is thinking of an integer, and if she add 15 to the integer and multiply by 4, the result is less than 250. So what we're going to do, well, we start with n plus 15, right? Add 15 to it, and the result we multiply by 4. I can put 4 in front, and this is going to be less than 250. Yeah, successful, right? Then we solve this. So to solve this, we just do it old-fashioned way, step by step. So this plus 60 less than 250. So 4x, so not 4x, 4n is less than 290, and is where's my calculator? 290 divided by 4, which gives us 47.5. Okay, right. Okay, so moving on, next one. So in 2022, Joseph earned a gross annual income of 161,000, and then after that he has all the reliefs, right, before his tax is actually charged. So far, it's chargeable income. So his chargeable income, equals, right? So we'll start with his salary minus away the relief. So he earned some income, so we minus away 1,000. And he's married with a wife, so minus another 2,000 relief. And then he has how many child? 4 children, right? So minus 4 times of $4,000 per child. And then after that, he has employee CPF contribution, right? So subtract 21,120 again. So you work this one out. This will be 120,880. Okay. Then after that, what happened? Now we go ahead and try to find the income tax payable. So if we check out this value, his amount, it will be in this bracket, right? Because 120,880 is here. I mean, 160,000 is too high, and then this one is too low. Okay. So what this means is that the tax, right? The tax, find his income tax. His tax is going to be equals to, well, this value over here, 7,950 plus, and then 15%, right? So 15% of the remainder after subtracting 120,000, which will be 880, right? So you work this one out, is 8082. Yeah, that's the amount of tax he has to pay. Okay, right, moving on, next one. John is a furniture merchant who buys furniture from overseas and sell in his shop in Singapore. So in recent trip to England, he saw a vintage sofa at cost £4,495. Okay, so calculate the price of sofa in Singapore if the exchange rate is well, it's shown on the screen, right? So what we do is we know we can actually rearrange this to be 0.58 is equals to $1, and the price is actually 4,495. So 4,495 will be equals to 4,495 over 0.58 times $1, which gives us $7,750. Okay. Part B, every year the price of the vintage sofa increase by 15% of its value, antique. So calculate the selling price of this sofa set 1 year ago. So 1 year ago, right? So now what happened is that means the current price is actually 15% more of the previous price, right? So 115%, right, of the price is actually our current price of no, it's not in dollar, it's in pounds. So in pounds, 4,495. Therefore, 100% of the price, which is what we want to find of 1 year ago, is going to be 100 over 115 times 4,495. And this works out to be, I keep writing dollar, too used to it, pounds, 3,908.695652. Now the question that says round off to the nearest pound, so round this off will be 3,909. right? Nearest pound. Okay, so that's how we can do this question. So next part. Right, next part, John, right, bought the vintage sofa and sell it at his furniture shop. As an 18th anniversary promotion, the shop offers an 18% discount before 8% GST, right? So what we're going to do, we want to, now Janice, right, want to buy the sofa. So the amount that Janice need to pay. So let's calculate, right? So let's see. Price for Janice is going to be, well, first of all, there is a 18% discount. So 18% discount, 18% less than 100 is 82%, right? So 82%. And then there is a 8% GST. So 8% GST is 108%, right? And then you multiply this with the original selling price, right? So what's the original selling price? Let's take a look again. $10,000 this time round, right? So $10,000. So you work this one out. This will be 8856. Okay, right. Part D, the furniture shop now offers an interest-free hire purchase scheme. So Janice decided to buy the vintage sofa on hire purchase with the following term: a down payment of 25% and the remainder to be paid in monthly installment over 12 months. So calculate the monthly installment. So let's see. Let's calculate first of all the down payment, right? So the down payment is very straightforward since we know that it is going to be 25%. So it's just 25% times the price, right? So this will be 25%. So 25 over 100 multiply by the price to be paid is 8856. So this will give us 2214, right? So the balance, okay, will be 8856 minus away the down payment, which will give us 6642. So 6642 is the amount that is going to be paid by installment. So we need to actually divide them by how many months? 12 months. So monthly installment equals to 6642 divided by 12 months, which will give us $553.50 per month. So that's the amount that Janice have to pay, right? Okay, let's go next one. Next question, we have Jack as a robot car A. He programmed it such that the motion follow a repeated pattern. It moves at constant speed for 10 seconds, then pause for 10 seconds, and then after keep repeating, right? So after that, he record the movement for a minute, and the information he's going to draw the graph. So if we look at page 13, okay, you look at the scale, you can see that 2 cm on the graph represents 50 units on the y-axis and 10 units on the x-axis, right? So what this means is that over here, okay, on the t-axis or no, just now we say x-axis, the t-axis, every 2 cm here is actually 10 seconds, and then 2 cm on the y-axis, which in this case we call the d-axis, is actually 50 meters. Okay, so how far is Robocar from a starting point when t equals to 30? Well, all we need to do is just read off the graph, right? Again, when t is 30, so look at the graph. Okay, use a different color pen so you can see. When t is 30, I just need to use my ruler, check. This will be 300, right? Perfect. So it's 300. Okay, this one just read from the graph, right? And those I write it in the wrong wrong answer space. Over here is part 2. 30 right here. Okay, so part 3, once again they say use the graph, right? Find the speed for the first 10 seconds. So for the first 10 seconds, you can see that it's a constant line, straight line all the way up. So in this case, the y-axis, the vertical axis is actually the distance. The x-axis or the time axis is actually horizontal one. So the gradient will be distance over time, right? So it will be y-axis over x-axis. In this case, we are looking at the gradient. So what is the gradient of the first part of the line? Well, we know the formula for it. The 2 points are here, the origin, and this particular point over here, right? So we can just very quickly use the formula, right? Gradient equals to 150 minus 0 over 10 minus 0, which gives us 15 meters per second. So 15 meters per second, right? That's the speed. Now, finally, the last part, they say calculate the average speed of the robocar A in the first 30 seconds. So, 60 seconds. So, average speed is total distance over total time. So, what is the total distance in the first 60 seconds? Let's take a look. Total distance in the first 60 seconds will be all the way up to here, right? So, we can work that one out, right? So, the total distance there is 450, and the total time taken is well 60 seconds, right? So we work it. So from here, average speed, let's zoom in a bit more. Average speed is equals to 450 meters over 60 seconds, which works out to be about 7.5 meters per second. Okay, so that's the answer. So going down, next one, there's a part B. So that's your graph. Part B, Jack programmed another robocar B, and it moves at a constant speed of 7.5 non-stop, right? So this time now it won't like stop and rest, like robocar A. So using the information, complete the table for the first 60 seconds. So so 0, 30, 60. So over here will be right in the middle. It's 2 to 5, right? 2 to 5. Okay. So on the same graph, they say plot the points from the table and draw it, right? So 0, 0, 0, I mark it out. Then after that we have 60, 450. So at 60 is 450. So also over here, right? And then somewhere in between we also know 30 is actually about 2 to 5, right? So 2 to 5 is over here. So we can join them together with a line. Maybe I use a different color one, color pen, so that you can see, right? So it will look like this, right? Okay, so nice line over there. So label it this. Label this as a robo car B, right? So answer the question. There we go. So Jack pressed the start button, and then after that they start at the same time. So we have that. And then after that, part 3, what is the significance of the point where the two graphs first intersect after the two robocar depart from sequence? Well, what it means, at the same point, this is a distance time graph. So when they meet at the same point, it means that they are at the same distance at the same time, right? Correct. So what happened is, it is the point. Change back my pen. It is the point where the two robo car is at the same distance. Distance? Yes, same distance. Since the start, right? So it's the first time they meet, right? So because you look at the graph, they actually meet a few times. So this is the place where they first intersect. First intersect is where they are the same distance. The first time they are same distance again since the beginning, the start. Okay. Right. Moving on. Question 7. Okay. So joints have two ice cream molds as shown. The uniform cross section of the mold is isosceles triangle, and then the other one is a semicircle with a radius r. So it is given that both have the same cross-sectional area. So what we need to do is find the area of the cross-section, and they should be the same, right? So let's see. Now, what information do we have? Well, it means that the area of the semicircle is equals to the area of triangle, right? Because one is a triangle, one is an area, but the same. So semicircle formula is area of circle is pi r square. So semicircle will be pi r square over 2, right? Or half times pi r square. Area of triangle is half times base times height. So half, the base is 6 cm, the height is 4 cm. Okay, so that will give us pi r square equals to, so I multiply by 2 on both sides, this will be 24. r square equals to 24 over pi. R equals to square root of 24 over pi. Now we're taking the positive root, right? Because r is the length. We don't need the plus minus here because it cannot be a negative length. Okay, so you press our calculator. This will give us 2.76 centimeter rounded off to 3 significant figure. Okay, right, moving on, next one. So now what happened is Joyce feels did I miss a section? Okay, yeah, I missed a section. Yeah, okay, now let's continue reading. It's given that both moles have the same length y, right? Then after that fill both of them with Milo. Nice, right? And freeze to make Milo ice cream bar. So find in terms of y the amount of Milo drink and needed to fill both the mole completely. Okay, so in this case we need to find the volume. Amount of the drink means the volume, right? So volume, okay, equals to, now the thing is we want to find in terms of y, right? So we can go 2 times 2, because both of them has the same cross section, they actually have the same volume. So I just need to find one of them and multiply by 2. I can choose to find the triangle, or I can choose to find the the semicircle, or you can find both separately and add them together, but it is extra work, right? Because they are the same size. They are the same size. So I just find 2 of the triangle, and because half times base and size is easy to calculate, right? So 2 times area of triangle. Area of triangle is half times 6 times 4. We already know. So 2 times of that, and then after that you need to times y. Okay, so you work this one out. This will be 24y. Okay, and the unit of course is cm cube in this case. Okay, right? So now Joyce intend to wrap each Milo ice cream bar entirely with aluminum foil. She claimed that aluminum foil is needed to wrap the ice cream bar, making using triangular mold. I mean, more, right, for the triangle than the semicircle. So do I agree? Well, what we need to do is work it out, right? So use the aluminum foil to wrap. What you are actually finding is you are actually finding the area, the surface area, right? Do we need to compare? So do we need to find the total? Actually don't need, right? Because the cross section is the same area. So the cross section is the same area. All we need to do is find the cross section of, the area of the lateral side, and then just compare, right? Or better still, we just need to find the perimeter, right? So what we can do is perimeter of triangle is equals to, let's take a look. Do I have that? Back to my diagram again. Yeah, 5. So 5 plus 5 plus 6. 5 plus 5 plus 6, which is 16 cm, right? And then after that we find the perimeter of semicircle, which is equals to well, the perimeter will be pi r. 2 pi r is the circumference, right? So 2 pi over 2 give the semicircle the curved part, plus we need to find 2 times the radius, right? So we work this one out. Do I know the radius? We found the radius, right? It's 2.76. So so we just sub in 2.76 in. Okay, so remember, let me just write it here somewhere so that you can see. It's 2.76. Yeah, we already found it in the earlier part. So we sub it in and we calculate, and let's see, my calculator end up, this is actually my calculator. I can't find my calculator. Okay. Right, calculator. Clear. 2 times pi. Actually, never mind. I shouldn't try again. Pi times 2.76 plus 2.76 times 2. Okay, so I'll get something like 14.2, right? cm, and then this 3SF, of course, right? Because of the pi, so it's not exactly a rational number. So it's around there, 14.2. So what happened is the aluminum foil, right? Aluminum foil is dependent on this, because it's the total surface area depend on this, because they have the same length and they have the same cross-section area, right? So we can say that since perimeter of triangle is more than perimeter of semicircle. I suppose circle wrongly. Semicircle, right? Surface area of triangular mole will be greater than surface area of semicircle mole. Right? So Joyce is correct, right? Hence, Joyce is right. Okay, so you write this, you're done. Okay, right. Still an assumption that Joyce could make in her calculation. Let's see. So some things she can say. Well, the main thing she can say is actually the thickness of the mole are negligible, right? Because what happens is we are just calculating without taking into account how thick the mole actually is, because actually a mole has certain thickness, and the thickness actually will affect the volume. But it will make the calculation a lot more complicated. So for the purpose of our calculation, we ignore that, right? Okay, but see, now Joyce has 600 cubic centimeter of Milo drink to make exactly 5 ice cream bar using the triangular mold. So using the dimensions in the diagram, find the length of the triangular mold, right? So what happened is we're going to make 5, right? And she has 600, which means for 1 bar, the volume is actually 600 divided by 5, right? So volume of mole is equals to 600 over 5, which gives us 120 cubic centimeter. So now using the formula, we know that the length now will be equals to the volume divided by the surface area, right? Area of the cross-section area, which is the area of the triangle. And we already know that that is going to be half times base times height, right? So that works out to be 10 centimeter. There we go. That's the length of the mole. Okay. Is that the last question? All right, it's the last question. So do our corrections, and of course, if after watching this explanation video and you're still confused, please come and look for me in person, and I will explain it to you again. So with that, hope you learn well, and all the best for your EOY. I hope everybody do well. So yeah, all the best.